Animals. Scary animals. When you think of a scary, bad animal, what's the first one that comes to mind? Is it a wolf? I mean, it shouldn't be, those guys are adorable. Speaking of guys, the bad guys. Listen, if Shea Freelas won't do it, then I will. Man, what can I even say about this movie? People just kind of really love it. And do not misunderstand me, I'm not here to be a contrarian. Just by watching random footage of it, there's a clear reason for why that is. It's one of those movies that came out at a similar time to Puss in Boots 2 that really tried something different with their animation, with only a few months in between them too, so one just sort of boosted the other's hype. With the increasing disdain for Disney that most people have nowadays, these two pieces of cinema kind of acted as a way to bring back DreamWork's reputation as the anti-Disney. Oh, Disney is doing generic, sauceless movies that no one watches or likes? Here's DreamWorks delivering two bangers with awesome animation in the same year. Not to mention how in 2 years' time they'll be the ones delivering The Wild Robot to us, a movie better than anything Disney has put out in like a decade. But listen, this is where I kinda have to be a buzzkill. As much as I want to, I cannot be 100% on DreamWorks side. Sure, they truly have some amazing artists doing fantastic work in there, but they also have trolls and live action reboots. Yeah, you thought it was a Disney only thing? Think again. At least it looks less worse than what Disney has to offer, but still. I do have a small theory that DreamWorks just sort of makes these sort of effortless movies to fund their actual good movies that don't make as much money. But I don't really have much evidence to back that up, so I'm not gonna use that theory. And here's the thing. Is The Bad Guys an unrelenting masterpiece, just like the other movies that I've mentioned with it? Okay, so let's make sure that we are all on the same page here. This is sort of a weirdo universe where animals and humans coexist. Except it's that weird thing where only the relevant characters are animals and literally everyone else is a human. Kinda like regular show.
One. One.
These are animals that live normally in a human society, yet the snake is talking about eating guinea pigs like a fucking lunatic. I was confused when I first watched this bit because you can clearly tell that everyone around them is scared of them. Now, we established that these are anthropomorphic animals that live in this society in the exact same way that humans do. Why are these people scared of them? They clearly act and behave like people, they're like polite and nice. There's no reason for people to be scared of them if you ignore the whole, criminal thing. They're not scared of the fox lady or the guinea pig. I mean, I know he's not a scary animal, but still, a talking millionaire guinea pig in real life would be kinda messed up. So here's the thing, are they scared of them because they are quote-unquote scary animals? Or is it because they're wanted criminals? Because if it's the former, that's kinda dumb. And I'd be inclined to say it's the latter if it wasn't for the fact that the entire message of the movie and the bad guys' reasons for being the way they are is because they're always judged by other people for being scary animals. Now, in a universe where animals live in a society like humans, why would people be scared of them if their existence is normal? Again, they're not scared of the fox lady. I mean, I guess you could say it's racism. Still, by that logic, the entirety of this movie's basis is very flawed. So Wolfman here is our main character. Did you know that his full name is Mr. Mo Wolf?
Kyun.
I know that because of the book. Yeah, if you didn't know, this movie was based on a book of the same name. It's a simple children's book that doesn't really aspire to have any super deep messages, and rather just nails at being a good little adventure for kids. That's one of the main differences it has with the movie. The movie was way more like, aimed for older kids than this one, like it actually has a somewhat developed plot and message. Anyway, look at this fucking amazing animation. I tell you, man, the Spider-Verse was one of the best things to happen to the animation industry. It's really funny to me as a big weeb how much this movie takes from Lupin III. I mean, it's the classic story of a classy, not evil thief that is just sort of very cool and always has this one extremely obsessed cop going after them. That's basically how I describe this movie, Lupin III and Carmen Sandiego. Cop here is this lady. I love her. She's funny and full of personality, and I honestly just wanted her to catch the bad guys at every turn. She deserves it. She's such a nice person. Also, are they in Los Angeles? This looks so much like the GTA 5 map. Gamer brain dump. The main thing that gets the plot really started is that they want to do this one robbery that is, too much. Probably more than they can handle, which is a classic trope to get a plot going in this sort of movies, but that's fine. And I don't mean to be a buzzkill. Am I the only one that's just a bit tired of that whole cliche joke where the character wears a disguise that still very obviously shows that it's them, only for the people around them to think that they're a completely different person. I don't know, man. I mean, I get that it's a kids movie, but it's been done so many times. I don't know. Okay? I don't wanna say this and have people come after me saying I'm a big dumb idiot. I'm just saying my opinion. I like Wolf's dynamic with the fox lady. Their sexual tension is off the charts. It's also refreshing to have a DreamWorks movie where the background humans don't look like abominations. I mean, do they look like Call Arts animation characters? Sure. But do I think that's a problem? No. Listen, it's 2025, guys. I never really hated that style, and neither should you. It's fine. So yeah, the robbery goes wrong and the plot begins. What's kinda jarring about it is that it's sort of Wolf's fault. It's jarring for me because so far he's clearly been the coolest and most well put together out of all the bad guys. If it was me, I'd make like literally any other member of the team be the one to blame. This just makes Wolf just look a bit less cool. So at least he's the one that gets them out of it. He sweet talks this stupid, totally not a twist villain guinea pig guy into giving them a chance to become good. So that's like the entire rest of the movie. And I felt really bad for the cop lady. I mean, she got so sad. I mean, sure, she's sort of a maniac, but she just wanted to capture these clearly evil people. Plus, she's such a nice person to everyone else. I don't know, I think she deserves good. Also, you see what I mean here?
We're gonna go good.
You totally lost me.
None of the bad guys other than Wolf really ever feel any sort of remorse for their actions. They never really want to become a good guy. Wolf does, which really solidifies his spot as the best character, until he dies. The dumbass rich guinea pig guy gives them a bunch of good guy tests of which they all fail, so instead he gets them to rob a place to save like a million non-anthropomorphic guinea pigs. Up until the snake very horrifyingly eats them all. You psychopath. I hate you. This actually really bothers me for some reason, okay? Stop it. But yeah, the sexy fox lady just kinda gets mad at them, so Wolf sweet talks to her and then they're fine. Again, I guess. What I do like about this is how she entirely puts her faith in Wolf here. She really legitimately thinks he's a good person that can change for the better. And I think that's pretty cool. We get this actual really good scene of Wolf saving this adorable kitten, and it's a really good character moment for him. It's also funny how at this point, even the guinea pig notices that the only one with potential to change is Wolf, really. The other bad guys are just kinda there.
It's just a shame that you have to carry all that baggage.
What are you talking? You mean the guys?
And at this point, they're sort of already heading to this random gala event, and of course they have this plot to turn into another robbery under the whole turning good ruse. And somehow Wolf knows everything there is to know about robbing this place. Like, how did he even get this information? Once they get there, they're applauded because of the whole save the cat thing, which was very conveniently recorded. And now everyone, and I mean everyone, just instantly loves them, even though they're known criminals. That doesn't really make any sense, but then again, these people aren't the brightest. What else? There's a dance scene, which I mean, as far as dumb dance scenes go in movies like this, it's not that bad. Plus it elevates Wolf and Fox's sexual tension to an astronomical level. But yeah, it's pretty out of nowhere and weird, and how is the snake playing the guitar? Wolf ends up kinda going rogue and not really going through with their evil plan. But yeah, they all get arrested and... What? The totally not a twist villain rich guinea pig was actually a twist villain? No way! Listen, considering how obvious this was, I'm gonna have to put him on the D tier on the twist villains tier list.
Tonight's headline, change is impossible.
You should always judge a book by its cover, and all stereotypes have been affirmed.
Okay, that was pretty funny. Wolf then sort of comes clean to the others about how he's enjoying being good, and they all hate him for it. Snake then asks him if he thinks they're all holding him back, and he says yes, and I'm over here just thinking like, he's right, they are. If they weren't in the picture, he'd be doing way better at this point. Doesn't matter though, because Fox Lady finds a way to become even more attractive by turning into a ninja and saving them all. She basically used to be like a super thief who eventually turned good, which is why she had so much interest in the bad guys and had so much faith in them. I don't really like how fucking OP and invincible she is and just blows shit up for no reason, but whatever. Like, bro, please nerf her in the next patch, Jesus Christ. The bad guys all have a falling out with Wolf and they all storm away, which for me is always funny when that happens in these movies. It's such a played out trope. Oh, but okay, as much as I give Snake flack, I did feel for him when he said this.
Birthdays are a constant reminder that out there, I'm just a scary, good-for-nothing monster.
It really made his character feel a lot more solid. And I like this bit where Fox Lady uses her own experiences as a basis to comfort Wolf when he's feeling low. And so it turns out that this movie's big final threat is that the guinea pig guy wants to use this army of guinea pigs to, I guess, rule the universe or something. It's not super clear. And while Wolf and Fox team up to go after him, the rest of the bad guys are over here just speedrunning their entire Turning Good arcs in like 2 minutes. But again, we'll talk about that later. Wolf and Fox get captured because honestly he's kinda dumb, but I honestly forgive it this time because it was pretty funny.
Or maybe...
Wait.
Yeah, it was a trap.
And Snake is revealed to be a twist villain. Okay, I actually kinda didn't see this coming. Still like a bit here though. And like, sure, later on it's revealed that he was actually a twist hero who stopped the bad guy behind everyone's back. But for me, I don't know, it feels sort of not super coherent considering that just the scene before he was actually like a total douchebag. The climax is sort of this big car chase scene, which personally I'm not a huge fan of. But when it's this well animated, I can accept it. None of it makes any sense whatsoever, but that's fine. I love this bit here though. But I really hate how they're just about to deliver the meteor to the cops, but then just decide not to, just to, I guess, talk things out with the Snake so they can all do it as a team later. Like, never mind the fact that I don't really like the Snake very much. I'm just over here thinking like, why didn't they just deliver the meteor and then go back to talk to the Snake? Okay, like, I get that he needed to be there too, to get the credit, but I don't know, man. They could have explained things out to the cops later, cause now everyone just trusts them even less. So the actual climax of the movie is this bit where they have to save Snake from falling into a big pit, I guess. Which is weird, but it's cute. So I'll give it a pass. What I really like about the end is how they end up all turning themselves in for all the crimes that they did in the past. It really solidified how much really just Wolf grew as a person during the course of the movie. The cop girl gets really happy, so in turn I myself got really happy as well. Plus when Snake reveals his switcheroo good guy plan, it might have actually redeemed his character for me a little bit. Like the little laugh he does is pretty funny, so I like that. But he's still a psychopath that eats live animals, so I'm not about that. And by the end of it, they all serve their time and are released from prison as reformed good people. Great ending. Let's talk about the specifics. Let's start with the obvious before we really get into the meat of things. If I were to ask you for an objective, all-encompassing reason as to why people love this movie so much, what do you think that reason would be? Well, Wolf is a Tumblr sexy man. But it's also the animation. I've brought it up briefly before, but I really just can't put into enough words how important Spider-Verse was to the world of animation. Okay, so remember long ago when 2D animation was almost entirely put to the side as a medium because most studios just wanted to go for the easier, more affordable 3D animation style that was on the rise and just made your movie feel more modern and, I don't know, advanced. The problem with that was that, one, we just had, way less 2D animated movies and we're still on that boat to this day, unfortunately. But the other problem is that most animated movies just kinda look the same. Every Pixar and Disney movie just had the exact same visual language. And honestly, that problem hasn't really gone away. DreamWorks was in that same boat too. The thing is that most 3D animated movies just sort of strive to look more and more like reality instead of having a distinct style. Like, if you want your movie to look exactly like a reality, why aren't you using reality itself? Dumbass. I'm just kidding. That's mostly a joke, but still, it's like nothing really stood out there, It's like the medium of animation was not being used to its full potential, with some exceptions, of course. That all changed when Spider-Verse came along. There were other movies that dared to challenge the standard visual language of the industry, but Spider-Verse was the first one that made everyone look at it and go, wow. That in itself is what inspired many animated movies that have and are still coming out to this day to take a different approach on what they were gonna do. Puss in Boots 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mutant Mayhem, Ultraman Rising, The Wild Robot, The Bad Guys. Notice how that list has multiple DreamWorks movies and no Disney movies? It's not a coincidence. DreamWorks did their homework, man. They really wanted to stand out in ways that Disney just refused to. And thus we got Puss in Boots 2 and The Bad Guys in the same year. And ironically, the thing that made this art style stand out the most is that it went back to the past. It went back to 2D. Kinda. Hand-drawn aesthetics mixed in a 3D environment. Stylized motion blur. Fluid action sequence. Small subtle movements being emphasized. Vibrant coloring and lighting. Expressive character designs that are unique and reminiscent of 2D animated movies and hand-drawn storybooks. The list goes on. Somehow Spider-Verse created this perfect blend. It truly captured the best of both worlds into a style that is able to please everyone. It sort of became a bit of a trend to make unique movies like this, because people will just look at it and immediately be enamored with it. I truly believe this is the biggest reason why people like this movie, because the rest is not perfect. The characters in this movie are kind of a mixed bag. On one hand, we have, Tumblr Sexy Man. He's the best character in the movie. But on the other hand... Sorry. I gotta be honest, the bad guys as a group, they're kind of whack, man. I'm not a huge fan of really anyone other than Wolf here. He's the real main character. He's the only one with actual, tangible, believable growth. Don't yell at me, but I truly believe the movie would not change at all if we just had Wolf and Snake. Yeah, I said it. I mean, what do we have here? Mr. Shark. Mr. Sharkman. Much like the other characters, his whole existence is just to have one specific bit that he does all the time. To his credit though, he at least has the least annoying bit out of all of them.
Hey there, son.
Dad?
I know you've got an important job, but I hope you still have time for a catch with your old man.
Other than that, he's just there to be the big man. Big, like, gentle, giant, himbo sort of guy that doesn't really have any personality. That comment applies to the others. I mean, the Tarantula... Don't even get me started on the Tarantula. In case you didn't know, this character was changed from the book. Tarantula in the book was a guy. In the movie, they just turned him into a girl. And she's voiced by Awkwafina. Listen, I know nothing about Awkwafina. I have nothing against Awkwafina as a person. But why do they put her in fucking everything? She's literally everywhere. And I cannot understand why. She's not a good voice actress. I'm sorry. I can't understand why do you change the character's gender from the source material only so you can have it be voiced by Awkwafina? Is it just so you have a girl on the team? I mean, they're called bad guys. It sort of implies that they will be, guys. I'm not against having a girl on the team. Don't misunderstand me. But the sequel is gonna have an all-girl team called Bad Girls. Isn't that kind of weird? I don't get it. But other than everything I just said, there's absolutely nothing remarkable about Tarantula as a character at all. She's just Hacker Girl. That's it. I dare any of you to point out another character trait that she has. The Piranha is probably the worst one though, because his entire character is that he farts a lot. I mean, I guess other than that, he's sort of angry, little angry, gremlin man. He also speaks Spanish sometimes, which is not a character trait. What bothers me the most is that none of them really feel any remorse for their bad deeds. Wolf does. His entire character revolves around that. Sorta. They never get the development that they needed, and by the end of it, you just feel like they turned good because that's what you expected from the story. These three characters do nothing the entire movie. It feels like they're just obligated to be here because of the source material. Like, they do stuff sometimes for like their heist plans, but they could have easily made it so it was just Wolf and Snake doing it. Kinda like how it is with Lupin and his friend Gigan. Gigan? I don't know how to spell that. This movie is already so similar to this Lupin the Third series that I wouldn't even complain. At that point, I would just call it a homage. Hate me if you want, but I don't really like the rest of the bad guys. I'm sorry, okay? And you may have noticed that a while ago, I talked shit about Snake pretty hard. And I did. I absolutely did. But honestly, Snake's relationship and dynamic Wolf is honestly pretty good. They play off of each other very naturally, and whenever they interacted, I just wish that all the bad guys could have this sort of chemistry with each other. Snake is a bit mixed for me. To be entirely honest, I don't really like him. But that's from like a person point of view, Like I wouldn't be his friend. He's rude, mean, kind of annoying, and sometimes he eats living beings. That really bothers me. This man is a monster. But his role in the story is honestly the only one out of the other bad guys that aren't Wolf that actually matters. He's Wolf's best friend. He's the one that keeps Wolf conflicted during his turn to the light side. He's the one that actually has a personality and speaks out his feelings. And at his lowest point in the movie, you do end up feeling for him. So while I don't really like him personally, I don't mind that he exists. He serves an important purpose in the movie. Speaking of important purposes, this movie has a twist villain. He's very fucking basic. Like, he's about what you expect from a twist villain in today's day and age in animated movies, which is not really good. Like, I think he's entertaining before he reveals his villainous, kinda. For no reason other than I think his voice actor is pretty good and gives him a nice voice to listen to. But once he goes full on villain, it's just nothing. What else? Sexy Fox Lady. I mean, what can I really say about her? You know exactly how you feel about her. You know exactly how everyone feels about her. Do not fool me. Neither of us are exceptions. But like, she's fine. She's a nice person, and I like that she fully trusts Wolf into turning a new leaf. The face that she puts in him is very wholesome. They also have great chemistry, like, whenever the two of them have a conversation, it's just basically guaranteed that it will be entertaining. What I don't like is that she's just perfect. She's that one girl boss character that has no flaws and is just good at everything. Oh, so the bad guys are described as the best of the best, the most successful criminals in the business. Well, guess what? She's like 10 times more skilled than they are. Like, literally, they're basically children compared to her. Everything that they all do individually, she can do by herself with no problems. And also she turned good on her own because she didn't need anyone to guide her. She's just good like that. She was born perfect. That's not an interesting character. I think it would have been way better and more charming if she and Wolf had basically the same amount of expertise and just spent some of their scenes trying to one-up each other. And then by the end, they agree that they are both great, have a mutual respect for each other, and then make out. But yeah, that's pretty much all the problems I have with her. What else? Cop Girl. Cop Girl, she's cute. I like her. I think I made that clear. I mean, she's the exact same character as Koichi from Lupin, and he's one of the best characters, so what can I say?
Oh, hello.
But all of these characters pale in comparison to Mr. Mo Wolf. Wolf is the reason this movie is good. He's the most charismatic and entertaining character out of all of them. And frankly, him being this good just makes the others look worse. Doesn't really work in the movie's favor, if I'm honest. Like I've said many times, he's the only character that truly grows. He's the only one that goes through that character arc and develops in an organic and natural way. I love this first scene where it shows how he feels good by being a good person. He just does something super simple by helping this totally not suspicious old lady, and that makes him feel good. And it's purely because he did a good action. For me, that just shows that he has always been a good person. It's similar to what happened to Megamind or Nick Wilde, where he was conditioned to become the way he was because he thought he had no choice. I think one of this movie's flaws is that we don't really get much context behind that. Like, we don't really know anything about Wolf's backstory. We just get told briefly that people didn't really like him because, I guess, racism. I think this is one of the cases where a flashback would have been very helpful. So, you get the gist of it. And because of that, Wolf ends up being basically the only character that I really cared for. Seeing him do good deeds and genuinely start changing for the best was very well executed and wholesome. This whole scene where he saves the kitty is just maybe the best scene in the movie. The way that he genuinely just did it because it was the right thing to do, how he talks softly to the kitten because he didn't want to scare it, and especially how he keeps it as a pet for the rest of the movie. I mean, come on, you really can't not love this. It all sort of builds up to the point where when they were supposed to make their big robbery, he backs out just because he wanted to be better. And how even though they were caught and people stopped believing him entirely, he still went out of his way to tell the Fox Lady where they hid all their treasure just because he wanted to atone. And I especially love how he turns himself in by the end. He knew he could have just left and that would be fine, but he knew they had to make up for all their past crimes. I think for me, this was one of the best redemption arcs I've seen in a long time. I mean, when was the last time you've seen a redemption arc anyway? So in the end, while Wolf was a guy that just enjoyed the thrill of being a bad guy, he all along just had a soft side that yearned for acceptance and redemption. His journey from a self-proclaimed villain to someone genuinely striving to do good is really heartfelt. He's also really funny. Like, really, Iron Man 2 guy didn't have to go so hard here, but he did. Not to mention that he's one of the most charismatic characters in, like, the entire DreamWorks catalog. Wolf's journey of self-discovery, coupled with his undeniable charisma and, let's face it, absolute banger design, makes him the beating heart of the story. He's a character who shows that change is possible, even for someone quote-unquote evil. This blend of humor, charm, and emotional growth makes him amazing, both within the context of the story and as a character that pretty much everyone loved. And really, that's the appeal of this movie. It's just Wolf. No, I'm just kidding. This is a good movie, even if I did spend a very good amount of this review just complaining. But the reason why I just decided to emphasize Wolf's character so much is that he really is what encapsulates everything that is good about this film. A deep and well-developed arc, good animation and character design, funny beats and charisma, furry Tumblr sex appeal. And that's about it, you know? This is a good watch. Definitely a step up for DreamWorks and animation. I think a deeper story and better side characters could have truly elevated this to a masterpiece, but as it is, The Bad Guys is undeniably an instant classic. Please subscribe.